So in my previous video, I felt the need to address these anti-Zionists who call themselves Christians. And I want to explain how you know the difference between those that are of the synagogue of Satan and those who are not. And I'm going to go at it in a different way than most have tried or have attempted to do. And I will go straight to 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 4. This is talking about the man of sin who already came and of course who still exists. And that man of sin being sitting on the imperial throne of the Caesars, aka the Vatican. 2 Thessalonians 2, we'll start in verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, this is Paul speaking, to the Gentiles he was speaking. By the coming of our Master Yeshua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that you may not be soon shaken in mind, or troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as the day of Messiah is at hand. So in those days, there were people that were claiming the day of the Messiah is at hand. Paul said that is not true. He said in verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there coming a rebellion, a revolt, a turning away from the truth first. And the man of sin be revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes, listen very carefully, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called theos, or that is worshipped. And by doing so, he sits in a temple of theos, declaring himself that he is the Father. And Paul is telling the Thessalonians, look, I've already told you this. Why don't you understand? So let's look at some of these words that Paul uses. Verse 4, who opposes? How does he oppose? He opposes by creating a false religion, worshiping a false God, rejecting Jehovah, the Elohim of Israel, and replacing it with a false Trinitarian idol. And here's how this man, the opposer, rejects the Father. He calls himself Father. That's how he rejects and opposes our Father in heaven. This is exactly what Paul is saying. He calls himself the Father. And from that religion came all of these Protestant religions. And they are all of the same religion. They believe much the same things. Now, another opposing position that this man and this group takes is to replace the name of the Jewish Messiah, who was given a Hebrew Jewish name of Yehoshua, the same name as the first one who led the children of Israel into the promised land. They changed that name into a Gentile name so that they can have a Gentile Messiah like Tammuz or like Apollyon. And Apollyon is the destroyer, destruction. And as we see right here, this man, he is the son of destruction or the son of Apollyon. Let's look up Apollyon, shall we? Revelation 9 and verse 11. This is verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of, or the god of, the abyss. The abyss is the Mediterranean Sea. Italy is like a boot that is thrust into the Mediterranean Sea, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in Greek tongue has his name as Apollyon. So let us go to Strong's Concordance and we'll see what Apollyon means. Destroyer. That's what it means. 623 in Greek Strong's Concordance. So as Paul said in verse 3 of 2 Thessalonians 2, that man revealed the son of destruction or the son of Apollyon. And I'll double check just to make sure. I don't want to leave any stone unturned here. Yes, I was right. The word perdition, 684, in the Greek is Apollia, for Apollyon. So he is the son of Apollyon. Now, hold on, I'm not done yet. If you go to Wikipedia, you will see a list of Roman legions. I may need to try a different method here because this is long and drawn out. Oh, come on. This may take me a little bit of time. If I can't find it, I will find a I did make a list of it before, and I have it in the in a previous video. But one of the Romans legions, there was like 4 or 5 legions. I believe it was 4 that attacked Jerusalem, and one of them was from Asia Minor, which is Turkey today. One of them was from Syria. One was from Greece, or I should say Macedonia. And another one was from Rome itself. And the Roman legion, the one Roman legion worshipped Apollo or Apollyon. And so what I'm getting at here, folks, is the Romans, they do not worship. When I say the Romans, I mean the entirety of Europe. The ones who worship Jesus Christ, that Jesus Christ is Apollyon. He is not Yeshua Messiah. And I want to make sure that I'm not getting off the track here. So Apollo, this person, this idol that is called Jesus Christ, if you go, like I say, if you go to Google and look up Christ of the Abyss, you will see who that is. He is Apollyon. So the son of destruction, a destroyer. So this guy at the Vatican, he is a worshiper of Apollyon, and those who follow after him in all of his feast days, be it Easter, Halloween, Christmas, all of those, they serve the idol, the god Apollyon, the destroyer. And he is not the Messiah, even though there are reports that the Methodists, and even, which I find really hard to believe, that even the JWs, I'm not going to call them what they say that they are, in almost loving fashion, seem to indicate that their Messiah, this Jesus Christ, is Apollyon, as if it's something great, when clearly you see in 2 Thessalonians 2 that the son of perdition is the son of Apollyon. The worshippers of Apollyon, they replaced the names. Replacement theology is of Satan. It is of Apollyon. It is of wickedness. And Apollyon is associated with Baal, the false idol that Israel worshipped in the wilderness, that got them cut off from the Holy Land for 40 years. And these followers of the son of Apollyon he says, remember, don't you remember when I was with you, I told you these things, and now you already know that what withholdeth continues to do so until it be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity is already working. It was already working in Paul's time. Only he which now lets will let until he is taken out of the way. So, there was a time that even the Holy Spirit was working, and that even that was removed, or to a certain extent removed, when the temple was destroyed. When Jerusalem was destroyed, that was when the Dark Ages came. That is when this particular sentence, this particular verse for the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now lets will let until he be taken out of the way. And that is the time when the Jerusalem was destroyed. And then that wicked shall be revealed. And it was revealed. It was revealed eventually in Constantine and his ancestor, or his descendants, which all sat on the imperial seat of the Caesars, as Constantine did. And so, the one who sits on the imperial seat of Constantine will be consumed with the spirit of the master. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the master will consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming in, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. So this is Satan's congregation. This is the synagogue of Satan. You see. And all the kings of Europe followed after the synagogue of Satan, many even declaring they are of the royal line of David, declaring themselves Jews, which they are not. And as I said before, even the royal family in England, it is said that they are supposed to be of the royal line of David. That is absolutely false. And the proof I will show you in just a second. This is on The Guardian. You can find it on New York Times, but I'll try at The Guardian. I will take a link where you will see the Queen, along with the rest of her family, doing the Nazi salute. Palace aides launch inquiry into leak of home movie amid calls for MPs and historians to release material from private archive. Buckingham Palace has refused to be drawn into debate over the royal family's private archives amid mounting pressure to release historical documents following the publication of a video showing the Queen performing a Nazi salute in the 1930s. As palace aides launched an inquiry on Sunday into the leak of the 17-second home movie, the royal family refused to bow to calls from MPs and leading historians to open up the British monarchy's official archives held at Windsor Castle. Respected historians said that the release of some of the material, which stretches back over 250 years, would add to the country's knowledge of the Queen and provide important historical context to the links between some of the leading royals and the Third Reich before the Second World War. The black and white footage is believed to have been filmed by the Queen's father, the future King George VI, on the family's Balmoral estate in Scotland in 1933 or 1934. It shows the future Queen, then aged 6 or 7, raising her right hand in the air as the Queen Mother does the same. The group were apparently being encouraged by the future King Edward VIII. It's all over the place, folks. Like I said, I will leave a link on the YouTube video concerning this. And then I will show you where it is said the royal family is of the house of David. What you do is just Google British Royal Family of the House of David, and the first thing that comes up is www.cai.org, Bible Studies. And I clicked it, it's not pulling up. You could also go to davidstent.org, where they claim that the House of Windsor is the House of David, and by Avner Boski. And they all make this claim that the royal family in the British royal family are the House of David. The fact is, what we will do then is we will now look at the Welsh flag. Okay, so you Google the flag of Wales. This is, I don't know how to speak Welsh, I am sorry, but the meaning is the red dragon. Now, whose flag does this Welsh flag belong to? It was originally, let's see, which flag was originally? Okay, now what we'll do, oh, I saw something here, the Royal Standard of England, but that one is long and drawn out, so I will just go to Wikipedia, flag of Wales, meaning the red dragon consists of red dragon passant on a green and white field. As with many heraldic charges, the exact representation of the dragon is not standardized, and many renderings exist. The flag incorporated the red dragon of Cadwalder, King of Gwynedd, along with the Tudor colors of green and white. It was used by Henry VII at the Battle of Bosworth. So you see, it was the British royal family's battle flag. After which it was carried in state to St. Paul's Cathedral, Synagogue of Satan, folks. The red dragon was then included as a supporter of the Tudor arms, royal arms, to signify their Welsh descent. It was officially recognized as the Welsh national flag in 1959. The dragon is a major flag design element, is shared with the flag of Bhutan. Yes, I'm looking at it there. That is correct. All right. Dragon also appears on the badges of George's Cross on the flag of Malta. Yes, it does. I'm looking at it right now. Very interesting, folks. The Chinese flag also features a dragon during the Qing dynasty. Several cities include a dragon in their flag design, including Cardiff, the capital of Wales, the capital of Slovenia, and in Argentina. And of course, you will also note that that particular flag or that particular dragon is at the Vatican. The flag was granted official status in 1959, but the red dragon itself has been associated with Wales for centuries. Though the origin of the adoption of the dragon symbol is now lost in history and myth, a possible theory is that the Romans brought the emblem to what is now Wales during their occupation of Britain, in form of the Draco standards borne by the Roman cavalry. Synagogue of Satan. Okay, itself inspired by the symbols of the Dracians or the Parthians. Now, or the Dacians or Parthians. Now, apparently the Parthians were also dragon worshippers. Parthians being Persians. Synagogue of Satan. The Om of Slovenia bear a similar miniature to the Draco standard, and they are referred to as baby cave dragons by the locals. The green and white stripes of the flag were additions to the House of Tudor, the royal family of England. Synagogue of Satan. The Welsh dynasty that held the English throne from 1485 to 1603. Green and white are also the colors of the leek and other national emblem of the Wales. The oldest known to use the dragon to represent Wales is from the Historia Brittonum, written about 830, I guess, AD. The text describes as a struggle between two serpents deep underground, which prevents King Vortigern from building a stronghold. This story was later adapted into a prophecy made by wizard Merlin of a long fight between a red dragon and a white dragon. According to the prophecy, the white dragon represented the Saxons, which would first dominate, but eventually the red dragon, symbolizing the Britons. Synagogue of Satan would be victorious and capture some city. According to the legend, this victory would be brought about by Y. Mob Daragan. This is believed to represent the conflict of the 5th and 6th centuries between the Britons and the invading Saxons. A version of the late tale appears to be a part of the poem, some poem. But what the point is the Britons had the standard of, or the British royal family had the standard of the Red Dragon, Synagogue of Satan. The Red Dragon is popularly believed to have been the battle standard of King Arthur and other ancient Celtic, Roman, British leaders. There is considerable evidence to suggest that during this period the dragon was a symbol of the Romano-British monarchy and possibly Romano-British society more broadly, including some of the Anglo-Saxon poetry. The dragon is particularly associated in Welsh poetry with Cadwallader, King of Gwynedd from 655 to 682. The dragons of Arthur and Cadwallader were possibly based on the Draco standards carried by the Roman cavalry unit stationed in Britain. So we also know that the Draco originated with the Sarmatians, Russians. So you see who are the Synagogue of Satan, the dragon worshippers. Now I know that this is going to infuriate you Christians, but if you're going to try to antagonize me and my YouTube channel, you better bring out all your heavy artillery. Because I'm going to hit you with the truth. I'm going to expose you, all of you who hate anti-Zionists. I will expose you using the word of Jehovah in the prophets, in the Bible. Better get your facts straight, and you had better repent. Don't point the finger at me. Look at the mirror and point the finger at the mirror. And make sure that you are not of the synagogue of Satan.